PKN 311. Oh, we didn't say Taylor's not going to make today's show. He had a family emergency.
Yeah.
Cover it there.
Oh, are we recording right now? Or is
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Has he put anything out?
No.
All right. Well, think sad, not scandal. There's nothing juicy here.
Yeah. Yeah. I just found out about it maybe today, I think. They're doing this big Rust tournament on Twitch to raise money for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got like 50 teams, just under 50 teams of creators. And so like it's 3-man teams, and they have this really interesting tournament way of doing a tournament. And for us, everybody's on the same map, and for a certain period of time, there's like a farming phase where nobody can like attack each other. And then they go into a PvP phase for a long period of time, and then they go into a time when raiding is allowed.
So what would these times be? Would this be like a week-long tournament?
No, I think it's a day.
A single day. All right. So
I think it is. I'm not sure though. I just discovered like the video of the last tournament like literally 20 minutes ago, and I was skimming through it a minute ago.
Yeah, you need some good rules because Rust doesn't lend itself to tournament style very much. I almost want it to be longer than a day. I want there to be an endurance aspect to it. Like maybe if every phase was a day. Then 3 days in, I have tired, exhausted, amphetamine-laced competitors raiding each other's bases.
Yeah. Pastilli is leading a team. He's got I didn't know the other guy, the third guy that's with him, but his second guy is Beachills, who is one of my favorite content creators from Rust. He's what he does a lot. He's really good at PvP, but the thing he's best known for is going deep on people, which is where you catch somebody sort of unawares and you jump in the airlock of their base and you catch them making a mistake with the order in which they open and close their doors. And you just go right into their base early in the game and kill them, chop up their sleeping bags, and now you own their base. Like he doesn't. It's primitive. It's a primitive style of raiding that requires like super aggression.
Can you explain something to me?
Yeah.
So let's say I attempted to go deep on you, right? But you still own the base. There's something about building rights in Rust that I don't fully get. So I could be in your base, but still I could be trapped in your base. How does that work?
So there is a thing called a tool cupboard, or a TC as it's called, inside your base. And when I put that down, that gives me building privilege throughout a big diameter, like a circular diameter, and no one else can build solid structures or place anything within that diameter. And it also gives me control over things like the shotgun traps, the automated shotgun traps that are inside the base. They won't trigger against me or anyone else who has clicked authorize on that tool cupboard. Once your whole team is authorized on it, you put a lock on it so that someone can't just run in and like clear the authorization, add themselves, and put their own lock on it. And they're kind of tough to break. Like there's various ways of destroying one. Fire's the best way. Fire arrows, fire shotgun, fire bullets, etc. But if you're just hitting it with an axe, it probably takes 5-10 minutes and like 8 different axes of durability to get it done.
Jackhammer?
So
how does that?
Jackhammer doesn't work good against that sort of thing. In particular, it works good against stone.
Explosives?
Explosives would work great. One satchel charge would break it. One rocket, anything greater than a satchel charge, just one of them will. Bean can grenades. But the go-to is usually a shotgun with incendiary shells, because you can just run in, boom, 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 and then sort of turn and keep defending the base. Because their spawn points are sleeping bags they've got placed, and they're going to pop up around you and try to close more doors on you or kill you potentially. So once you have their tool cupboard destroyed, you can place your own tool cupboard. And this is, of course, if the tool cupboard is locked. If they don't lock their tool cupboard, you can run over there, clear authorization, like I said before, add yourself, place your lock, and now you own everything in the base. The doors still don't work for you, though. So if they didn't leave their doors open, you have to pick the walls, like literally with a pick, from the inside. But materials in Rust have a soft side and a hard side. If you tried to pick your way into a base on the hard side, it's just not going to happen. Like I don't know what the number is, but maybe it takes 3 hours to do. If you're in one place for 3 hours going ping, 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 someone's just going to shoot you in the back and it's going to be over. It doesn't work.
And you can repair too, right?
They can't repair while like within 30 or 45 seconds after the last bit of damage was done to a surface. So that's why a lot of times when people start raiding, before they start shooting their rockets against, say, a stone base, they'll take a machine gun and like shoot all the walls so that no one from the inside can upgrade those walls from stone to metal or armored before they figure out exactly which wall they want to blow up with their explosives.
Do you think Bastilli can win? So I
No.
don't know much about Rust, but he thinks he put together a dream team.
Mm-hmm. He has a good team, but these are, if it were 8-man teams and Pastilli was 1/8 of the team, then sure, yeah. If you get 7 of the best guys and one guy who's kind of an amateur, they can definitely win. But when he's 1/3 of the team, and every time he goes down, now they're at 60% strength, 66% strength, or whatever. I don't know. I don't think so.
So you think Pastilli's kind of an amateur at this point in his Rust career?
Big time. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I watched him raid.
Like the guys he's playing against have like thousands and thousands of hours, and I don't know how many he has, but I got just over 1,000, maybe 1,500, and of course there's just a PvP skill that comes into play. Like maybe somebody's got 200 hours and they're just way better than me at like 1,200, but Pastilli isn't that guy. I've seen him play. He's not as good. Like recoil control in the AK is a really difficult thing to do. It's one of the harder recoils of any game. It's harder than Counter-Strike. It's way harder than any of the like popular games like Tarkov or Call of Duty or anything like that, where you just drag straight down for the most part. It's a zigzag pattern that goes straight up, and it is wild. And if you're good at it, you're so overpowered. Like people die at such a fast rate that they can't turn around, they can't react, they just melt, and they're instantly dead. And the way the spawn points work in that game, it's your bag or a random spawn point, and the way you're at such a disadvantage as a naked guy versus a geared guy as far as like how many bullets it takes to kill you. A sniper rifle will one tap you if you're naked, but you got to hit it. But even a headshot won't kill you if you're geared. So it's a big difference. And the way this tournament's structured, I just watched the video quickly, but that there are these phases of farm, fight, raid. That's not conducive for him either, because so many of these guys know how to run the monuments so well and farm very quickly and efficiently. And there's 50 teams. I'm not saying he's going to get skunked or anything. They're probably better than the bottom 15% of teams. But I mean, because Beachills is an amazing player. He's very good. I was watching Beachills on an unrelated note earlier today. Like I really like his shit, but I don't know. I don't think he's got a chance.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. So I've never played Rust, but I've watched quite a bit of it, which makes me know just, a little bit. And I'm watching Pastilli raid, and I'm like, yeah, he knows stuff. He's hitting the corners, so he gets like splash damage on the other walls. He was playing, he had a bunch of nakeds, like, randoms that enjoy his stream, help him raid. And I'm watching them struggle with parkour in a really big way. And Pastilli, on the other hand, is just pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, oh. He clearly distinguished himself on the way that he moved around a base in a way that the other people he was with didn't. And I'm like, it just gave me the impression he was good, but I don't have I don't play it. So I saw
the opposite, honestly. Like I think he's good at hopping from one thing to another, probably better than the average human being, just in general. I think a lot of those people just bought the game to come fuck around with him. But like he didn't know how to place Twig, and he didn't know like the rules behind placing Twig.
This is building a base.
No, it's raiding a base. You can place, so even within someone else's building privilege, you can build the first stage of structures, which is Twig. It goes Twig, wood, stone, metal, armor. And you can place Twig on their base so that you can sort of parkour up on top of it or peek in their windows or like there's a lot of things you can do with that. You can build just outside of their walls if they have walls and sort of hop over into their compound and get up to all sorts of hijinks. And, he didn't know the rules behind that, which is fine. But it just goes to my point that, he's still a rather amateur.
Right. He's an
Rust
expert
player.
gamer, new at Rust.
Yeah. Expert gamer, but very new at Rust. He doesn't know some stuff that you would learn on your first wipe, I guess I'd say.
Well, okay. It'll be fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it because they do that thing where like the announcers, seems like H. June is hosting the tournament, which is kind of disappointing because he is the best player in the world. I really want to see him fucking play. I think he's got like 12,000 hours in this game. It's absurd. But they're doing that thing where they fly around as moderators and they can go anywhere and they can see everybody's name tags above them from a distance.
Is secrecy a big element in Rust?
It's a huge element in Rust. So I'm sure they won't show map coordinates, but if anyone's stream sniping, like they will get some information that you wouldn't want them to have. I would think that they wouldn't go inside of bases unless they're. It's like the base is being raided. Like there's no way they're going to show you the inside of someone's base.
Right, because knowing
the location of the tool cupboard,
and even the style of construction that they used is helpful for raiding it.
Sure. Yeah. Because there's generally 2 or 3 ways to go about raiding a base. You can go through the doors, like one door after another, destroying them as you go in, or you can go through the walls, or you can go from the top down through the ceiling. That's
right. And I'd like to know if you're honeycombing this thing or not, or if, like they're maybe in an expert you would have, you'd be able to imply it. But anyway, not imply, infer it. But in any case, So I can totally see that people get mad when I bring up Minecraft. But if I were to show you if you were to show me how a base was constructed, what to expect as I work my way through the walls, then that would tell me which resources to bring and how to construct my attacking forces.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a complex equation not equation, but there are tables of like if you're blowing through a door, there are more efficient ways to get through various surfaces because there's like 5 or 6 or 7 different kinds of explosives. So you mix and match them together to get the most efficient thing. But there's also expediency to be considered. It may be cheaper to shoot 3 rockets at a surface and then use 15 rounds of explosive ammo, but it's a hell of a lot faster just to shoot 4 rockets.
Yeah, and you put stuff at risk. Like you may have things on you that are very expensive, and you don't want to die with them. Maybe
definitely do. Yeah,
I could get a kill on you, run down, hop on that backpack, and suddenly, now I have what you used to have. I could either use it against you defensively or just own it.
Yeah. That's why you don't see very many online raids just in regular Rust. These will all be online raids pretty much.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just, right in the middle of the tournament. But in regular Rust, it's really rare. Because
I like tournaments. I like the... And this is why I wish that the best player guy I never heard of till a minute ago was playing. I like guys being tested to some extent. A sort of put up or shut up. I think I like live streams. I could make Tarkov videos that make me look like, I was going to say make me look like Landmark. I'm exaggerating. There's no way that I look like Landmark. But I can highlight my best of the best moments and make you think I'm better than I really am. Sure. And but live streaming, you are what you are. That's how it is. Tournaments, you are what you are. And I remember we did a Call of Duty commentator tournament thing. There were a bunch of them back in the day. And some guys would show up and be like, I'm going to do it pistol only. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. You know what you're doing. You're giving yourself an excuse not to win. You put yourself out there as a top player, and then you show up and say, I'm only using these pistols. And when you don't win, you're like, well, of course I didn't win. I only used pistols. No, you dodged the competition is what you did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
I want all of the notoriety, but none of the responsibility or the risk that comes along with competing. Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah, and but in Tarkov when they do these things, Pastilli's actually won every one so far, which is kind of impressive.
Yeah, I saw I guess there's a point structure, huh?
No, this I don't know about. I only know about the individual events.
Oh, I thought that they were you said something about him going into a factory and accruing points.
Oh yes, that's an older one. I think they put out a challenge to get 100,000 points in a factory run. Which XP it is, and he got 100,000 XP in a factory run, which is just outrageous.
Yeah, I saw that just in my brief viewing. This video is 2 hours long of the previous tournament, just some highlights, and I noticed that there was a point structure there. There's an attack heli in the game, an AI controlled attack helicopter that drops 4 crates of really good loot, and you shoot it down, which is hard. Not hard to do, but I mean, if you're new, it'd be hard.
Would you call it a monument, the attack heli?
No, because
it's the ship. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's just different. It's flying around. It'll shoot at anyone who's armed on the map and really fuck them up. And but the way you take it generally is from your base. And when it crashes, it has these crates of high end loot that are on fire, and they're on fire for let's say 5 minutes, which makes them unlootable. So you've got to defend them for 5 minutes. So it's almost it becomes out of nowhere a Call of Duty objective game mode where everybody wants the good shit and you've got to defend the good shit. And but some of the stuff in there is so fucking good. Like the M249 is probably the best gun in the game. It's light machine gun, 100 rounds. You can put a 4-power scope on it, and these guys who are really good can control that recoil to the point where it just melts people at very long range. So
that's neat. That's really cool. I might even watch it. It's, if they, and they'll probably learn from the event and make them more viewer friendly over time. And
this is the second one. They raised about 15 grand last time for Corona, I think, and I think they're going for 25,000 this time or something like that.
Pastilli hit his million. I guess you probably caught that.
I didn't catch it, but I assumed it'd be about this time. He was getting so close.
So it became kind of obvious that he could hit it almost any time he pulled the trigger. All he had to say is, tomorrow's special day. And tomorrow he would get like an extra big day and hit it. All right. So he dressed up as therapist. So for people that don't know, there are a bunch of traders you buy things from, and therapist is one of them. It's a girl. And he dressed up as therapist, did a sort of special day. He had a bunch of people rolling in.
He looked like her.
He did a pretty good job of looking like her. Did you see that they replaced her in game with him?
Yeah. Therapist is this matronly looking, like wide-jawed Russian lady with a lab coat and like a bob haircut. And so somehow he nails it. It's like, something's not right about therapist anymore. Oh, it's Pastilli. Okay. For a second, I just thought the RTX was turned on or something. It was so close. He did a good job.
I'm trying to show people.
Yeah, that's really funny. $1 million that he's raised by charity. They must fucking love him.
Right?
He must get to, I guess they don't really have any perks at a children's cancer charity.
I can't think of one. Heated blankets? I don't know. But
yeah, right? like I would raise money for like Carnival Cruise or something like that. The sick children of the Carnival Cruise Corporation need our money.
Yeah, I don't know who these kids are, but they're rolling in Lambos at this point. Yeah, no,
the polio victims of Tahiti need all the help they can get from Kyle.
Dude, I love that whole story, and I think about it a lot. I put a lot of thought into Pastilli's, like what he's got going on. And just to be clear, before I head down the other way, Pastilli doing this from a place of good, right? Don't let that ever be questioned. Don't let it come off like I'm questioning it. He's taken all of his donations and sent them straight to charity, not through himself or anything. All his donations, all of them. He just lives off his sub money and his YouTube revenue and stuff like that. But every donation to his live stream goes to charity, and he never touches it in the middle. It's all clean. It's good. Cool. I think that by not keeping every penny, he's even more successful than he would have been had he kept every penny. It's hard to make that argument, right? How's giving away money good for him personally, But I think that his position in the community is elevated. His, like, the respect that he gets from the viewers, this, like, a guy who does so much good for the world is always going to be on the good side. I think that while on the surface, giving away all your money to a charity or all your donations to a charity would be a subtraction from you, it may have turned out to be an addition.
Yeah, I think it's a net positive. I think if he hadn't done it, he wouldn't be as respected. Like you said, all the things you said. And, next year, maybe he doesn't give all of his donations away. Or when does he stop? Does he complete the whole year and go to, like, what would it be, 1.2 million? Or does he say, all right, got the million down? And it goes in the pocket?
I don't know. So as a viewer, look, when you're a viewer, it's very easy to spend someone else's money, which is what I'm doing. And I don't like it when people do it for me. When people say, like, Woody, you should buy this thing from this guy or pay that guy or whatever. And it's like, bro, like, of course you want that. Well, I don't, like, but I'm in my head, I'm like, ooh, what's the next charity? Are we going to keep giving to Starlight for a year? Or are we going to pick another worthy cause? Maybe over this time that he's been raising money for Starlight, he's had a thought like, oh, you know what would have been nice if I had chosen, I don't know, breast cancer or something.
They got some kids over here that's much sicker.
Right?
These kids are melting.
Right? Like, I don't know. But
find some lepers or something.
Your thought
Just
process,
babies with leprosy.
your thought process. You know what I like a lot? Cleft palates. I feel like that's a life-changing, improving surgery that takes someone
Yeah.
really being ostracized to just being fine. The success that you get from, like, I know there's a subtle, like, little hairline scar on their lip or something, but by
Yeah.
and
Joaquin
large,
Phoenix.
they take someone with was a pretty serious facial deformity and turn them into a normal member of society who doesn't get discriminated against. I don't know, and then so in America, I think if you need cleft palate surgery, you probably get it, but that's not always true in like Brazil or India or whatever.
Or apparently Dagestan. Did you see that that fighter who's associated with Khabib who's got that awfully repaired hair lip?
Oh, I don't think I've seen a big enough picture.
It's so off. He was calling out Conor McGregor randomly, and because he won 2 fights like in 2 weeks or something like that, like at 2 different weight classes.
Very neat.
And he was calling out Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor just replied, "Rat face."
Oh.
And you look at it, and it's one of the worst I've ever seen. Like his lip is like this far off. Like it just it needs to be. It's way off. It's like a puzzle piece that somebody tried to hammer in that wasn't supposed to go there. Just a nice mean schoolyard bully reply. It was pretty harsh. Rat face, just out of nowhere. But yeah, I agree with you. But here's my thing. And look, maybe Stilly is like, yeah, like let's do good around the world forever. But maybe he's like, we just did that for a year. Maybe I focus on me for a year, he just raised $1 million, and seemingly there's going to be a good bit more going to children with cancer, and that he's spending a year of his life working to get that money to them. Maybe next year is the year of Pastilli, where
I wouldn't hate that.
The money he earns.
Yeah, your time in the Twitch or YouTube sunlight doesn't last forever. Even if you do nothing wrong, eventually they find something to get frustrated with you about. Eventually, maybe you're the same, but they've seen your show enough times, that's what happens. I want Pastilli to be set up for life on the other side of this. And yeah, I don't know what the best route to make that happen is, whether it's charity number 2 or maybe charity number 2 is Pastilli.
Yeah, I would tell if he asked me, I'd be like, yeah, maybe you just keep the money you earn next year instead of giving it all away.
Yeah. I don't know. I know he's looking at a boat. Did you see the boat he wants?
No.
It's $250,000.
Well, there you go. All right, that sounds fun.
There's another YouTuber that bought this boat, and I know this by watching his stream. And, he puts it on stream. He says, look at this guy's boat, this and that. I showed it to my wife. I said, hey, honey, this is the boat we should buy. And it's $250,000, which is higher than his original budget. But he's like, honey, this would make a really good platform for live streaming fishing. And that's where he intends to take his stream. He wants to live stream fishing. Mm-hmm. And he thinks a $250,000 boat would make the right platform to show him fishing.
How much? Okay. Well, look, like you said, I don't like telling anybody else. Nobody asked my opinion, and it's his money. But that seems like a real horrible idea from every angle that you just described to me. The idea of watching anyone fish on a live stream. I mean, fishing is one of the most boring, like outdoorsman type things you can do. It's even for the person who is doing it themselves, it is boring for like 75, 80% of the time. It's only exciting when you get that bite. That's why it's fun, is because there's those moments of sitting there doing fucking nothing, and then suddenly, aha, we got one. I wouldn't watch that. I don't know how many people would. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll just watch for his personality. But for how long?
I'm cautious about my personal tendency to predict failure on things that sometimes succeed. My favorite is FPS Russia. What are you going to do after they stop selling pumpkins? Really, Kyle, I see no future in this.
Yeah.
So take that and just, like, don't put a lot of emphasis. Sometimes when you're on a platform like you and I are, our opinions are overvalued when really we're just regular people. And but I'm with you. I don't think I'd watch Bill Burr go fishing. Like, but I'm not a fishing
No, I
guy.
would watch Bill Burr go fishing.
Would you?
Especially, yeah. All right, because that show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, is wildly popular, and it's literally like two guys going to get coffee, and it's hilarious. It's really fun. I like it a lot. Now, if you made that like, and Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast is like the most low effort, like so let me tell you what I watched on TV last night. Super popular. I listen to it a lot, but still, he's not Bill Burr, and I don't think that's an insult to say that he's not like one of the greatest comedians of all time, one of the top 2 or 3 that are doing it right now alive. I would watch Bill Burr go fishing, especially if he had like guest stars, especially people like, somebody's being a pussy about baiting a hook or something, and he's roasting them. That'd be great.
That sounds pretty good. Comedian's Car with Coffee, that one's not my cup of tea. I feel like it lacks any kind of depth, or they're distracted. It's a distracted conversation. It's not my cup of tea. Bill Burr's thing also, I don't know. I feel like he's just not deep enough. It's too surface when he says, "Let me tell you what I watched on TV last night." Every once in a while, he'll describe like a UFC event in a way that I find captivating. Bill or Bruce Buffer goes out there. I think it was the first event he went to, and he heard Bruce Buffer say, "Are you ready to?" What does he say?
It's time.
Thank you. That's what he says. And he's like, man, I want to be introduced on stage like that. Like, there was a enthusiasm. Bill Burr sometimes hits home runs, but by and large, when I listen to it, I don't finish his, little 12-minute videos, whatever they chose. But anyway, back to Bastilli. I don't know if it'll succeed or not. I think that
I do.
A lot of gamers who are used to Tarkov won't switch over to fishing, but who knows? I predict failure for all kinds of things that succeed.
Yeah. Nothing. I got no skin in the game, so I would just say like that seems like an awful idea. It seems like maybe renting a boat and testing the waters literally would be a good idea, or maybe starting with get a hell of a boat for $50,000. I mean, a hell of a boat, like a $250,000 boat is legit. That's a big ass fucking boat.
It wasn't. It was 7.5 meters. What is that? 27 feet ish.
Yeah, roughly.
Like that, I'm not saying that's small, but for
it's small.
$250,000, like I guess I expected something a little more magnificent.
Yeah, it's small. Like a 30-foot boat's pretty small because a lot of that is like stuff parts of the boat that you can't do anything with anyway, like the meat and potatoes of the boat, or I'm sure there's a below deck and all that stuff. Like I don't know. I need to look at the boat. My boat was like 30, 35 feet or something like that.
Deck. It was like
still small.
A yucky storage closet with bad lighting and a toilet.
Sounds about right. He must be getting a brand new fucking boat too.
But you must be imagining like teak somewhere on this thing. No.
Oh no!
Picture the side of fiberglass you're not supposed to see. Like that's what it looked like.
Yeah. Oh god. All right. This sounds awful. This sounds so awful.
I was surprised. I thought $250,000 would buy you a lot more than that.
It will. Like
there must be something wonderful about that boat that I'm not appreciating.
My boat was like $30,000 out the door. And it was all like
it's a small sailing yacht.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, I mean, it had a motor, it had a diesel motor too.
I thought I said that because there might be listeners who have no idea what your boat is.
Oh yeah. And below deck it was like 2 couches facing each other, and behind them it was all wood, like shiny wood, and I don't know, there was a bathroom with a shower, and there was a little kitchenette and everything, and like a little place to like a little bed.
So this boat, like what a center console fishing boat looks like, right?
Sure.
It's that, but a little bigger and beefier. If you picture a normal like center console Boston whaler, it's probably 21 feet. This thing's 28.
Okay.
But mostly,
So this is starting to sound like Tony Soprano's first boat, the Stugatz 1.
Oh no. Oh, first boat. I might not be thinking.
Oh, by the time you got to like the Stugatz 2 or 3, it was like a $4 million boat. And it was so funny. His lawyer was like, I told him it's a terrible investment. $4 million for a boat. You're never getting out of that thing, I
I'm going to show you the boat.
Oh, thank you.
So it doesn't lend itself. It's a 30-minute video.
Yeah. I obviously will watch 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm trying to bounce around, get maybe a drone view or something.
Man, this is just not ideal. Because it's like this is a new boat. Is why this is expensive.
So if you go to 1658, I feel like that shows the boat pretty well. It's a center console boat with a roof on it, like open sides. That's
Oh man, this is awful.
ooh, 1715 is a particularly good view of what the boat is.
Mm-hmm. It's his money. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it.
He earned every penny of it.
I think I I think he can afford to just buy a boat. So we should just look at it that way.
Oh, instead of a live streaming platform.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh darn it. I wasn't sharing it. Chat, I'm going back. I'm going to show you what I didn't show you before. My bad.
Yeah, I think like if he asked me, and he obviously fucking hasn't, so who fucking cares what I think? But if he asked me, I would say, forget about it being a streaming platform. Do you want that boat? Oh yeah, I want the boat. You love that boat, huh? I love it. All right, well, you should get that boat and you should fish from it, and everything else should be secondary. You know, don't. But if you're like, I love that boat, and God willing, it will support me into my retirement. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What if it doesn't? Oh well, I'll be destitute. Oh, maybe not that boat. How are you with a paddle?
I had a different. I wrote him just a 1.5 page paper on like how to handle the trip he's on. Just because I really like the guy and I want him to succeed. It was unsolicited. I don't know if that's bad, but I don't know if that's bad form in some way. But anyway, for the finance part of it, you spend 10% of your net worth. Great. Did you manage to make yourself worth 800,000? This year you live like you made 80. Are you worth 1.5 million now? Great. This year you live like you earned 150,000. Look, your nose to the grindstone. You're not doing anything anyway. You're live streaming 60 hours a week. Doesn't take that much money. And this is a short ride. At the end of it, you can reevaluate and buy your boat or whatever. But just live on 10% of your net worth. And then when you're finished this thing, you may have a life where 5 hard years of streaming supports the other 75 years of life. And it's not a bad deal. Just focus on saving money, tucking it away, and then you'll, take stock when it's over. That would be my take on it. Live on 10% of your net worth.
Yeah. I just don't know about the idea of the streaming fishing thing being a thing.
You'll have that market cornered.
You're damn right.
Yeah, I mean, I just want nothing but success for the guy. But you'd have to look, to me, a fishing live stream is not a fishing live stream. It's a podcast with revolving guests with, and even then you have to deal with the distraction of the fishing. Yeah, you
got to like fishing. You got to like fishing, or you got to love the people who are doing the fishing, or a combination of the two. And anything else just won't work. I would love to see like hunting shows in general. I hate. They're awful. Like even when I loved hunting, I hated hunting shows because like I didn't give a fuck about this guy. I felt like most of them were goobers, and they were excited. I didn't like the way they were doing what they were doing because I considered myself an expert in it, and I was like, this guy's supposed to be teaching me, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and like he doesn't even know what it's like to do it for real. And
however, if Joe Rogan is it Ted Nugent? Did I get his name right?
That is his name.
If those two were to go on a hunting trip together, you might be interested in that content. Maybe
not Ted Nugent, but I'd love it if he took like Brian Callen, like he did that, like Brian Callen, and like.
I picked Nugent because he's a big hunter. I think.
Yeah, he's a bit controversial though. You wouldn't want to take him.
Well, Okay. I actually picked him because I thought he'd be interesting to listen to. You know, look, he's not going to tell me what I want to hear, but he's going to be interesting to listen
Yeah,
to.
I don't think Rogan likes him either. He's all anti-weed and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They had a big argument about that years ago. But like, you know, a couple guys from Rogan's crew, and they went like deer hunting. I would watch a bunch of that. I would want to watch their whole trip, right? Like where they all gather in like Texas or LA and get on the plane.
You know who'd be good? Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt
Oh, yeah.
is a
He's a hunter,
hunter,
too.
but he's not an expert hunter, right? He's not going to be a tour guide. You know, he's more of a vacation hunter or something, right? Bring him along. It's my impression that Joe Rogan is actually a pretty competent hunter, and I don't know, let them go together and see how it goes. I'd be down.
Yeah, Rogan's a very good bow shot, which is a hard thing to do. Archery is difficult, and killing something with a bow, there's very few people who have done that.
Okay.
Percentage wise, like of all the hunters, like it's easy as hell to shoot a deer with a rifle.
Yeah, I'd like to see him bring someone who does it but isn't an expert. You know, I don't want to see him out there with Gilbert Gottfried. You know, like fuck that.
No,
that's not the show.
Yeah, I agree.
So, anyway, that'd be cool. News with me. I hurt my back. I hurt my back. This is the worst my back has ever been in my entire life. It's so horrible. I was doing almost nothing. So in my house, when the boxes build up, and we had too many boxes, right? I recycle what I can and I burn the rest. That's what we do. And the nature of this task is that you bend over and pick things off the ground a lot, right? So picture boxes light, never more than like 5 or 8 pounds, but a leaning tower of Pisa and the wind blows it over, and probably had to bend over like 50 times. And as I'm doing it, it started to hurt, but call it a 2 out of 10. Like, you know, so I just powered through when I finished the job. 2 hours after I'm done, it's like 5 out of 10. Like my back is hurting. And I'm not one who says 10 out of 10 lightly, but oh my God. Like if I didn't think this was going to get better, I swear to God, I would kill myself. You can't live in this level of pain that I'm in right now. It's suicidal discomfort. It's
whereabouts in the back is it? Like
it's
what
my
quadrant?
lower back, you know, say
the whole lower, like right above your butt.
Say 4 inches above the butt crack.
Focus on the spine or the muscles to the side?
Muscles to the side. So I actually I saw a doctor today, not in person. I was like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. You can Google yourself, but that only gets you so far. And there's a website called Doctors on Demand, and it's like a real thing. There are doctors who will see you over the internet. I think I fucked up the insurance. I paid $75 when it was probably covered, but at this point, he could have charged double, you know, and I would have saw him. So I go and I do a video conference with this Doctors on Demand thing, and I lay out how I just bent over, and a few hours later, it hurt more and more. And he said I had old man's back. And Kyle, he must have used that term 6 times in our 15-minute call. Bro, words hurt, all right? Like, and to me, a back pain from like without a catastrophic event, you know, if your back hurts because you got in your motorcycle accident, I view that through a different lens than if you tied your shoes and hurt your back.
Then if you have old man back.
Yeah. And I've been pretty reliable with like, you know, my weightlifting and stuff, and that didn't hurt it. So I feel like my core and my back is like not bad right now, but I guess it is. I don't know, because it couldn't do this motion. And I asked about muscle relaxers, because a friend of mine with back pain said that helped him. And he's like, no, not for you. You know, he's like, it's muscle. He went through a whole bunch of things that it's not and why he thought it wasn't. And lumbrosis, something close to that. It basically is just a muscle thing on either side of my spine, and it'll get better in some time. I can't rest it too much, even though that feels great. I can lay in bed in a certain position and have it not hurt.
How about massage?
Maybe, right? Maybe. I haven't done that, but I'd like it. But more ibuprofen than you'd think. 800 milligrams, 3 times a day. That is the biggest prescription I've ever had. And a bunch of light movement, and it should start to get better. So
yeah.
The light movement, they kind of want to demonstrate me walking because it's like the penguin or something. It would be. It
looks like someone with old man back.
Kyle, it looks bad. I think I I don't know. I put my chest and belly out in a way that is just this not flattering posture.
You're just trying to take because you're not using those muscles. You're just like you're just like legs
Yes.
without any wiggle up top, and it's just like it's old man walk.
It's so terrible. And there's like, so the power went out last night because of a hurricane and or tropical storm. It doesn't matter. So at some time, like it wasn't coming back around 5 a.m. this morning. I got it. Our power company's really good about texting. And it basically said, we have no ETA on fixing this. There's no crew assigned. We're prioritizing these based on how many people are out. If they could help 100,000 people with one fix, that one's a bigger priority than ours. Cool. So that means, Kyle, my generator is like bigger than a mini fridge, and it has wheels and it was like 4 or 5 a.m. I'm out there like crawling around. The battery it has battery start. It's 7,000 kilowatts, if that means anything to anyone.
It does.
Honda. And I had to pull start it. That's the hardest thing. I'm trying to pull start it without using my back, just like arm extensions. And fortunately, even though I didn't pull it that well, it did start easily. And just hauling electrical wires, like a 50-foot outdoor electrical wire, throws me off balance in such a way that's crazy painful. That's why I haven't been streaming, if anyone's missed those. I am suffering hardcore right now.
You need another doctor, man. There's no reason for you not to be on some narcotics.
Oh, I don't want that. I hear you. By the way, you are honest. I told the guy, I was like, that whole back pain opiate route, that's what narcotics means, right? Or does that mean opiate?
Yeah, but like a light one, like Tylenol 3, which is, and they gave me that at the dentist, and like, man, they were effective.
I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to take one step on that path. Like, I
mean, where would you get them? Like, you don't even know where to score weed. It's not like you're going to be like on the mean streets of Raleigh, like, hey, you got any narcos? I got old man back. They're like, yo, here he comes. It's old man Woody. You're just like, you're doing that funny penguin walk. He needs his medicine.
We'll see how. I think the doctor thinks I'm going to be better than, not 100% better, but better than now in like 2 or 3 days. Like it's going to turn the corner. If a week from now, I don't know. I'm really cautious about the whole opiate thing.
I hear you, but you're just such a responsible guy, and like I've been on them, and like for a week or two, and I've never thought, wish I could get some more. Like that never popped into my head.
It did to me. It did to me. Well, I was on them for 3 weeks, and I was on them almost nonstop for 3 weeks. It was a long time ago. I was younger than you. I was like 21 when I got my wisdom teeth out, and at the end of it, I was like, I just really wanted to be on that altered reality. I was like, if I could have scored more, I would have scored more.
Okay. I think my experience was always like I had codeine, cough syrup, which was heavenly, and you could just drink as much as you want until you got high. And I had Tylenol 3. I don't know what's in Tylenol 3, but what's in Tylenol? I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is in Tylenol 3? It's acetaminophen mixed with 30 milligrams of codeine. All right, there you go again. Good stuff.
So codeine is a opiate?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a path I walk down very willingly. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah,
I've been hopping in the pool, stretching, and my pool has been the greatest like therapy device that I didn't expect that out of it. When I broke my leg, you can choose how much you weigh in a pool, right? You go neck deep, you weigh nothing. You go waist deep, you weigh, I'll make it up, 100 pounds. And it was really nice to be able to like walk well. What happens if you break a leg and you lose all that muscle and flexibility? It's hard to get that back and walk normally and have a normal gait. But when you have your good leg to model off of, and you can weigh 50 pounds and start walking on it, even though it's still healing, it was a really great thing. So, and it's been good for my back too. I can get in there and, touch my toes pretty much and just weigh nothing. It's cool. But,
yeah.
Well,
that sucks. I hope your back gets better.
I think it will. I've had this half as bad once before, like 3 years ago, which the doctor also took as, a positive sign. So
I hurt mine once, and it was such that deep breaths would trigger the most excruciating pain ever in my like upper back, not like mid. It was like mid back as far as the height, and on the left side. And I just remember one day, like I was chilling on this is when I was like 22, but I was just like sitting on the couch, laying on the couch, watching TV, and I went to get up in kind of an awkward way, and I felt the muscle back there contract, like spontaneously go. Like squeeze into like a fucking ball, it felt like, and it was just the most sharp, excruciating pain. And I was just like, and like if I didn't move at all, there was no pain, but any movement, like to get up, was just excruciating. So I had to like roll onto the floor and like crawl my way up to a standing position. And deep breaths, like anything more than 3/4 of like full, would trigger it. And it was like that for like 5 days, where I was essentially just bedridden. Awful.
For me to get out of bed, like a normal way I get out of bed, because I pretty much do this move, I'm sure everybody does, where you slide your feet over the side and do a sit up at the same time and you stand. That move isn't happening. I have figured out I can roll like a rolling pin with my arms down without pain. So I kind of roll to my belly, slide my legs off, and at this point I'm ready to be butt fucked. And that is the from there, I can kind of do a push-up off the bed. And like that's how I get out of bed right now.
Good God, man.
It's fucked. Getting old's not for sissies, chat.
Oh, man. I would want a massage. Maybe that isn't even the best thing, but like, I would want one.
I'm tempted. So Jackie can't massage. Look, no one's perfect. She's 47 like me with the hands of like a 70-year-old. To ask her for that is a selfish ask.
Yeah, you need a man. You need man hands back there. Although like the women that I've gotten,
go ahead.
The women I've gotten massages with had like shockingly strong hands. Like we were in a strip club one time, and there was a lady there who kept all of her clothes on. She gave massages while you sat and watched the other girl get naked. She would rub your shoulders. And it was like
0% chance I remain flaccid in this thing, Kyle.
Well, and she was attractive, and I want to say she was Russian or something like that. But I just remember like she was like, on scale from 1 to 10, how strong? And I'm like looking at this lady, and I'm like,
10
fucking 10.
Yeah,
let's go. You're 10, and she goes. Oh! And I just go 4.
It hurts to laugh. Yeah, that dude. I think I've only had massages from women. It's my preference, and
me too. Yeah.
And I've never met one that was too weak. Like they're pretty much finger weightlifting every day.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry and George go to get massages, and they call Jerry first. This pretty lady comes out. She's like, "Mr. Seinfeld." He's like, "Right here." And she's like, "Come on back." And he goes with her. And then this big buff dude comes out who's good looking, like long blonde hair. He's like, "Are you George?" And he's just like, "Yeah." "You with me, bucko, let's go." He's like, "All right, take your pants off." He's like, "I think I'll just leave them on." Like, "All right, whatever you want to do." And he like gets down face down, and the guy grabs George's pants and goes, "Hurr!" Like just pulls them really hard so they like come down like 3 inches lower, and George is like, "Ah!" And after the massage, he just looks violated, and Jerry's like, what's wrong? He's like, "I think it moved." Like his penis had moved while the guy was massaging him, and he felt like maybe he was gay. Yeah, I'd prefer a woman. I think as long as she's strong enough to get the job done, for sure.
Yeah, I've talked about this on the show before, and people will judge me for this, but it's like I prefer it if I get a massage from a woman and Jackie gets a massage from a woman too.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah, that's typically how all of my couples massages have gone. We're in the same room, and it's like, "Hey, we just get 2 girls, right?" She's like, "Yeah, anything else would be weird." And I'm like, "Agreed."
Yeah.
Agreed.
I want it from a girl because I'm not gay, and I want Jackie to get it from a girl because she's not gay.
Yeah.
That's the thought process.
What if the guy was incredibly gay, though?
Oh, that actually might help. Well, no, she's
like,
still
what if
not.
he nanced into the room? Like he sort of like cartwheeled into the room. "Hello, Mr. Magic Fingers here.
You know why that helps? Because I know Jackie doesn't like that. You know.
Oh, well, that's even funnier.
Yeah. Well, I guess there are people in our universe where Jackie's like, that guy's just a little beta. Like, that's a turn off for her. And that's what I want. I want her turned off. So that's the reasoning behind why that would help.
So you want a woman, but not so attractive that Jackie might be tempted. So
well, actually, I don't know. Maybe.
I like you being very specific. I imagine you being very specific about this, about the woman who gets to massage Jackie. Like someone who's sort of middle-aged, matronly, maybe a cleft palate. Got any of those back there? Some Eastern European gals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play Tarkov, think therapist.
Yeah. So I got that cooking. My back is wrecked right now. And it's debilitating. Well, it'll get better.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and
It's human backs are weird. We haven't quite evolved for that thing to work properly. You know, we've only been walking upright for whatever 300,000 years or something. So, like, I've read a bunch of times
for Taylor.
Taylor's people started walking upright around the time they invented the automobile or something like that.
You can tell by the body hair. It's a clue.
His great-grandfather moved like this through the underbrush.
Right. So, he's not here to defend himself, but I think he'd like that.
Perfect.
Yeah. The Doctors on Demand. This is not a sponsored message, anybody, but I have a positive experience with that. The doctors seem really competent. From the the sign up took I don't know, 3-4 minutes. And probably from the time I entered the website to saw a doctor was less than 15.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah.
I use when I first moved out here, I didn't have a doctor. Obviously, I've been going to the same doctor my whole life, back Hart County. So I used an app called ZocDoc, like ZocDoc. And I think that they had the option for like a video conference thing, but I really wanted to go to an office so I could sit down with the guy and I wanted his full attention. I didn't want him getting like a blowjob while he video chats with me or whatever the fuck. But so I used that, and that was really effective. Like you tell them dermatology or whatever you're into, you're into whatever you need. And it gives you this list of local doctors. So I personally like to deal with a male doctor. What if I've got something on my dick that I want looked at too? I don't want this pretty lady to look at it. Well, maybe I do, but after the male doctor fixes it.
Yeah, it's funny. No, I think I'd rather have a female doctor look at my dick.
Really?
Yeah.
What would Jackie want? Who would Jackie want looking at your dick?
Who would Jackie want looking at my dick? I don't know that she'd have a strong preference. I don't think that's an area that would spark jealousy from her.
Do you have a strong preference about what her lady doctor, the sex of her lady doctor? Yes, she should be a woman. Right? I thought so, right? Yeah. First of all, there's just something odd about a male OBGYN.
Dude, so not anymore. Now, she's had, I want to say both of her deliveries involved a male doctor. And even though they were C-sections,
oh yeah, you want the male doctor when
open.
Life is when lives are up in the air. But if we're talking about a daily lady part checkup,
so where I was headed on that, and I think you see the boobs and everything. They're basically working with naked women when they deliver the babies, even if it's a C-section. And in there, I wasn't at all jealous. We had a mission here. This is medical and etc. But young Woody, 19-year-old Woody, would have been legit jealous of a guy OBGYN, possessive, to say cheated on is an exaggeration, but the spark of the hint of that idea,
sure.
Not so much anymore, but that's how I felt when I was young.
Yeah. I definitely get that. I remember, but I don't understand why a man would ever want that job.
Really?
I feel like maybe there are teenagers who are yeah, we got to look at hot ladies naked all day. We got to do the things that they do. Meanwhile, but when I was in high school, my friend Justin, his mom was an OBGYN, and she would come home and tell horror stories about the disgusting vaginas she had to work with that day. And I just remember this phrase, too much cheese on the taco.
Wow. But yeah, that's what you're getting. You're getting yeast infections, rashes, women on their worst days.
They're not sending their best pussies. They're sending their worst. The disease, the infected, the misaligned pussies of the world. And some, I assume, are good.
That's exactly right. It's so on target. And some are good, I'm sure. Healthy checkups. But yeah. So anyway, at this point, I don't know if there was some dick inspection to be done. I would just feel more comfortable with the woman doctor.
I feel so much more comfortable with a dude.
Okay.
Like, look, I feel like he would understand. Like, I don't need the lady looking at my. I would just feel so much more comfortable with a dude. 100%. Because like when I had an issue down there once, I had a lady doctor, and I was like, yeah, I got this thing going on, and she was like, well, describe it, and I was like, she's like, well, what do you think it is? Like, she wasn't gonna look. She wouldn't look. She wouldn't look at my dick, and what it, I want to say. I'm trying to think what the issue was. I really am. I think that I had gotten a blowjob from somebody with a cold sore, and it had transferred to my penis region, and it never came back again. I thought that I would have genital herpes for life, essentially, because that's what the mouth herpes and the genital herpes are two completely different strains, but they are like they can travel from one to the other, but it's never cropped up again. And meanwhile, I've always heard that like genital herpes is for life, and it'll just pop up, 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about herpes, but I once had a guy doctor, and I actually got really upset about it. I didn't make a fuss or anything, but I forget why I was going to the urologist. It might have been to just inquire about what do they call it when they make a guy infertile? The snip.
Vasectomy.
That is, yeah. So I think I was just like exploring the idea of a vasectomy. And while he was checking me out, this nurse just like bust through the door, and like I was just full on pants down, like and I felt like it was really unprofessional. And I didn't like it, and the doctor didn't like it, and she was like, who the fuck doesn't knock in a urologist's office?
Yeah.
Like, even a regular doctor's office, that's true. But the fucking urologist, where you're just barging through rooms, not knocking.
Yeah, I agree.
I never came back.
Yeah, that's my only concern. If I'm like getting my junk checked out by a guy, I'm like, I don't want your pretty nurse to come in here. I was hoping I could fuck her maybe later on. I was going to talk to her on the way out, and she's definitely not going to fuck me. At least not till this clears up.
Yeah. That I still like. I'm just thinking about it right now. Like, did I overreact? No, bro.
No.
It's a urologist's office. Like,
they should be knocking.
They should be knocking at the orthodontist.
They should knock everywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely. If it was the other way around and it was a male nurse coming in and the lady was topless, it'd be a huge deal.
Yeah. So anyway, Docs on Demand, 2 thumbs up. The guy seemed to pretty thoroughly take my case history and I
guess he just gave advice, no prescription or anything.
So he can prescribe things. I went in there thinking I might get a muscle relaxer because I have a friend with back pain who thought, and that helped him. But the doctor was like, you haven't described anything in the family of spasms. Like, that's not happening. It's not locking up. He's like, I don't think a muscle relaxer is what you need. He's like, you are under treating it with ibuprofen. I was taking 600 twice a day. Now it's 800 3 times a day, so double. And he's like, you're going too low on the ibuprofen. You were right about the light activity, do some walking, etc. And you're not allowed to just lay around all day. And the muscle relaxer, it's not gonna help someone with your symptoms. And then, of course, he went over this long list of things that it wasn't, how he was able to rule them out. And he just seemed competent, fast. I didn't have to leave my house. The ordeal of driving to a doctor's office right now would be hard on me.
Yeah.
I'm glad that exists. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. And that's all I got. So, call it a show?
Yeah, I think so. You should probably, I don't know, walk or rest or whatever you need to do.
we'll see. We'll see. Oh, and I know people are going to have this question. We expect Taylor to be here on Thursday for PKA. So if you,
got some good guests too.
yeah,
Very interesting show.
So everything is fine. All right, PKN 311.